This week on This and That Garage, we are back on the old 65 C10. There's the motor. We got stuff to do to it. I'll tell you all about it here in just a minute. Before we get started on this old truck over here, let me tell you about the sponsor of this week's video, Upside. Y'all have heard me talk about Upside before, and it is real, fellas. Yes, you earn actual cash back. There's no points that you lose after a certain amount of time. Once you earn it, it's yours to keep. It is as simple as downloading an app, just like this right here. Once you download the app, you open it up, there'll be a map in your area with several offers from different gas stations, restaurants, what have you. Places that you're probably already going to. Well, like I said, open the app, go to the map, zoom in and out until you find the place that you want to go to, gas station. We'll say Burger King. Y'all know I'm a grown boy. I'm wasting away to nothing. Got to have my food. Burger King, my favorite burger place. All you got to do is click on it, click claim, go in the store, buy your stuff. There you go, fellas. It really is that simple. Like I said, once you earn the cash back, it is yours to keep. Yep. You can transfer it to a bank account, to a PayPal account. There's a long list of different gift cards you can use. It's yours. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users so far, and it really is as simple as downloading the Upside app. Link will be in the description below, and you can earn a 25-cent per gallon extra on your first tank of gas if you use promo code this and that. Yes, that is an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank of gas if you use promo code this and that. Appreciate Upside for sponsoring this week's video. Let's get to working on this old truck. If you will recall from last week's video, we got the old motor running and the HEI distributor right up here somewhere. Where is it at? I don't know. It's in here somewhere. Did flawlessly once I got the pulleys where they wasn't slipping. Yep. But then, if you will recall, there towards the end, the little fella started ticking real bad up top on the valve train, rockers and whatnot. And I was like, that ain't no count. Like I said, I don't have much experience with LS motors. This is the second one these hands have ever touched. The first one, 2 years ago, was my brother's truck, had a 5.3 in it. It's probably got 300,000 miles on it now, but it blew a head gasket. So I put head gaskets on it. That's the extent of my LS experience. Well, I called the Hoopies and Hot Rods fellers. They're just like 5 minutes down the road. I knew they had a lot more experience with these motors. So I said, hey, this thing's ticking like crazy. What's going on? Well, they come over. We fired it up. They listened to it. And they said, that's an LS. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I've run them a lot worse than that, ticking. And then the other one said, he's got a truck, I don't know what year, or it may have been a Tahoe or something. Anyway, he got a 5.3 in it. He said, mine's pretty loud too. So, well, let me tell you this firstly. That night I went in the house and did some research on LS's, and sure enough, they're known for a noisy valve train. Not all of them, but some of them. I thought, well, I don't like that. Anyway, the dipstick tube. Let me turn the camera around. The dipstick tube right there, it came out of the 6.0 right over yonder. I just grabbed it just to plug the hole, keep oil from flying out. I had looked for a dipstick tube, and I thought I had read somewhere that the 5.3s and the 6.0s took a different dipstick tube. Anyway, he pulled dipstick tube out and he said, there ain't no oil showing on the dipstick. I said, that is just to plug the hole, but I put 5 quarts in it. He said, these trucks take 6. That's a truck oil pan. He said, they take 6 quarts. I was like, would 1 quart of oil cause that noise? He's like, I don't know. I said, well, it's pretty easy to see. Let's put another quart in it. So I did, fired it up, and it got quieter. So I think some of the issue was I didn't have enough oil in the thing. He brought me some stuff. I got it right here on the table. We're going to discuss it in a minute. That's what we're going to do firstly to this motor. But maybe I need to apologize to my nephew Christopher, because maybe it wasn't nothing he done. It's just LS they're just a loud motor as far as, you know, valve train noise and whatnot. Anyway, we're going to try to get rid of that noise because I don't like that at all. Anyway, let me show you what he brought me. and let's get to tearing this motor apart. They brought me an O-ring. This fits the pickup tube. The LSs are known for that O-ring getting old and it won't seal anymore. Some of them they'll crack and just, you know, fall off. It'll go to sucking air right there and causes low oil pressure. But my nephew said he put a new oil pump on it. Surely he put a new O-ring on that pickup tube also. Then they brought me a couple of springs for the pressure relief on the oil pump. We're going to install one of these, whichever one probably has the higher pressure. And my thinking is, and there's two, let's bring the oil pressure up and maybe to quieten the top side of the motor down. He mentioned something about running a high volume oil pump, and I was like, I don't like high volume. But then I thought, this ain't a small block Chevrolet. The reason I don't like high volume on small block Chevrolet is, you know, you got your drive shaft coming from your distributor down to the oil pump. I've seen high volume break those, and I'm not a fan of that. But this is a completely different setup, so it wouldn't matter. So it's an option, you know, if it still is louder than I want it. But anyway, right now, let's get the little feller partially tore apart. We're going to start with draining the wooters out of this here radiator. And then I think we'll go ahead and probably tear the front of the motor off, because we got to modify that bolt in the bottom of that wooter pump on the back side so we can get our belt in. I got my belt in, by the way, too. Wow, I'm making a mess. Come on, man. Anyway, that belt come in. I told y'all it was a 27-inch. No, sir. This one was a 26.5. We're going to put it on and see what it looks like. And then I may order a 27-inch. And here's why. Let me get over here and show you. We have very little clearance between the idler pulley and the distributor, as you can see. So we need a longer belt to raise this up. But we ain't got a whole lot of adjustment left, so we can't go much longer. But I got a 27-inch coming. Should be here, I think, tomorrow. So we'll try that out and see what it does. But for now, let's go tearing this thing down a little bit. Well, I took a radiator off, hoping to give me more room, and it has. But I should have made this mount for the radiator detachable. We might have to modify that sometime or another. But for now, let's just get this little feller torn apart. We might modify this too before we put it in the truck this week. We'll just have to see. Next, we gotta get this wire tie broken. Come on, man. Next, we gotta get the distributor out of the way. I wish they made what they call a crab style distributor that had a pickup in it. Most of them they use like a crank trigger type deal and MSD box of some type. I don't want all that. That's why I did this, try to get away from electronical stuff. But a crab style cap is a lot thinner. It would just look better. You got 4 and then 4 over here for the wires. I'll look into it, but I don't think anybody makes one of them with the pickup inside of the distributor. Let's lay this little fella on back here. There's the old belt. She's trying to come apart on us. Yeah, that wouldn't last very long. Maybe my super glue ain't no count. I don't know if I ever tightened that up. Yes, I did. Let me go get a, what is that, about a 14 or a 15? Mama. It is not a 14. It is a 15. Dinner time. Well, look at this pulley. Something's been rubbing it. Wonder what did that. Huh. I'm going to see if maybe they make a smaller idler pulley. If they do, then that 26-inch belt will be just fine and dandy. We'll get a smaller pulley and get it out of the way of the distributor housing. Let's get the water pump out of the way. What size are you, little buddy? Is it a 13? Yep, sure is. I don't know if you can get to that pressure relief spring with the front cover on. But like I said, we need to take this off to modify that bolt on the back of the water pump so That's why we're going to go ahead and take all this off. The fella rings a long time. All right, come off of there. All right, come off of there. There we go. Oh, my knees and my knees. If you will recall, I told you I put Loctite on these screws. Oh, look at there. That Loctite didn't do much of nothing because that come loose pretty easily. What in the world? I used the orange, which is high strength removable. Well, that ain't worth crap there, fellas. That didn't do nothing. It sure didn't. Huh. I mean, they were still tight, but not like it had Loctite on it. Very odd. There we go. The good thing about an LS, these gaskets, as far as I can tell, are reusable, except for water pump. We'll have to, I think I got some from that 3/4 inch spacer kit. All right. I'm just looking the cover over to see if bolt heads might have smashed into this. I don't see nothing. No, sir. I didn't show this on camera last week, but I did grind these bolts. I did grind them down flush. But yeah, that looks pretty good. We did not have to pull the cover off, by the way. I believe you could get to it without pulling this off. Oh, well. Oh, I thought the gasket might hold it, but boy, was I wrong. It still got oil in it too. Let me get around back here. See if I can keep from making a mess. That could have been terrible. All right. Well, what's got me? I don't know how this pickup tube goes, but it sure don't want to turn loose. There we go. There we go. I want to get it set down on the ground and let that pickup tube drain into it some kind of way. Will it go something like this, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Yep, she'll sit just like that. Awesome. He told me there was a broke oil pan bolt. It's this one right here. That really long one. Where's it at? It's really long. Yep. So let's see if we can't get that little feller out of there. I'm going the wrong way. Gotta go this way. Oh! Well, it's loose. What the devil? We'll just spin that little feller out and I'll have to get another bolt. It was missing one bolt on each side also. I'll try to find some of them. Might steal them out of the 6.0 or maybe buy them, but I'm really glad that wasn't a pain to get out. Now let's get up here and look at the Earl pan real quick like. All right, let's get this spring-a-lang out and see what we got. Our gasket is right in the way. Come on, man, get out of the way. Takes an 8 mama wrench. Ooh. Got an Earl going everywhere, so that's good. That's real good. All right, let's look at them, see what we got. Well, here's the deal, fellers. This is the stock spring right here. And then these are the springs that Hoopies and Hot Rods gave me. This one, I've looked up and read some stuff on it. This one here is supposed to be stock pressure. This one here is what they call a Copo Camaro spring. And it's like really high pressure. Everything I've read says you don't want to fool with that one. So I don't think I will. Now stock pressure, this blue one, is that Melling stock pressure or is that LS? Because as you can see, the stock one's a lot longer, meaning squished into the same space. This is liable to be stiffer. I don't know. Let me get this out of the package and see how stiff it is. Here's the deal, fellers. I've done some research on all these springs. This feller here, what they call a Copo spring, Copo Camaro, it's for high horsepower stuff. I'm not even going to consider using it. Then, like I said, that blue one is so much shorter than the stock one. The wire is a bigger diameter, but that's a huge difference in length. So I'm not using it. What we're going to do is shim the stock spring. All you do is put some whooshers or something down in here. Probably going to shim it 1/8 inch or so. That'll up the pressure some. But here is something that's very important that I just discovered on the pickup tube. Let me see if I can't get a shot of it. Let me get a light. Maybe the light on this camera will come on. I think it just did. The pickup tube, I hope you can pick it up. See how it looks like it's grooved? Sort of, a big groove right down in here. Well, some of them are like that, and some of them are straight. Well, this one here, seeing how it's got that groove, it takes a fatter green O-ring. Look here what was in it. That's for the one that is not. That's for the one that's straight. So, little feller may have been sucking some air around that pickup tube. So, let me get online and see if I can't find the green O-ring that goes on this. There's a lot of leftover gasket stuff over at Mama's in the basement that belongs to this motor. Let me go over there. It may be in that. If not, then I'm going to have to try to find one in town somewhere. I'll be back in a little bit and let you know if I found it. I found the remnants of the rebuild kit that he used to put this motor together, and I found this bag of O-rings. There's 3. A red, green, and black. I thought, well, that's it. So I pulled that green one out, put it on the pickup tube. Ain't no way it could be it because it just flopped around. So I said, phooey on it. Let's go to Ireland. Here's what I got. This is basically the O-ring that Hoopties and Hot Rods fellers gave me. It's in the same package. That paperwork in there tells you which one goes to which pickup tube. Well, here's the O-ring that was on it. And it's smaller than that one. It's very similar to the green one. I don't know. It's actually not as thick. I see now. Okay. Anyway, the green one goes on there. That's the one we're going to put on there. This one here, well, let's pitch it over there somewhere so we don't put it on nothing else. Anyway, let's put this on, and then I'm going to find some shims for that spring. All right, let's see how this little feller is going to fit. I'm going to lube her up with some Earl. Let's see how she's going to fit up in the hole. Is it going to go in there easily, or? Oh, yeah, she went right on in. I put a little bit of Loctite on this bolt because we don't want that falling out. No, sir, we sure don't. Let me hit that with the ratchet. I like to make sure she's gootin' tight. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Now I want to shim our spring-a-langer right here, and look what I found. Well, they won't come out of there. There it is. I was looking for some whooshers. Well, I found this little old nut. I don't know what it fits, but it's exactly 1/8 of an inch in thickness. Put that in there. Make sure, it can't slip up in the spring. Oh, she looks pretty good. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on this. Let's put that back in the Earl pump. All right, let's see if we can get this little fella up in there. I got some Loctite on it. The orange high strength removable. Now we're going to have to fight it a little bit to get her started. Not too bad though, because she's already started. All right, let's crank her down. She was pretty tight to begin with. About clicker. That's good enough. I'm kind of glad that we tore it apart now because of that O-ring. It might not have been contributing to oil pressure, being a little low, but you never know. It's good to go ahead and replace it with the O-ring it's supposed to be. It probably would have caused issues down the road, but anyway, glad to get that done. Hopefully that'll raise our oil pressure between it and shimming that spring, and maybe quieten the top of the motor down a little bit. Now, what we got to do is find the water pump. What to do with it? It's over here. And grind that bolt off I'll tell you about. Then we can start putting everything back together. All right, here's the water pump. Here's the bottom of the water pump. This bolt right here, she's a little too thick. The head is. There's enough material there on this cover that we could countersink that, but I don't have any metric bolts handy, especially flathead. So I think what we'll do, let's grind on that little feller. Make him pretty thin. Hopefully that'll take care of it. Let's do a little grinding. That's about as thin as I can take her. I think what we'll do now is let me put the front cover on. We'll just put this in place, make sure I got enough clearance. If I do, we'll start putting the little fella together. I decided to drain the Earl out of the pan, just keep from making a mess when trying to bolt it back up under there, spilling it everywhere, and it ain't good. No, sir. Watch when I swirl this around how gray that Earl looks. It's even like that down in here. Look how gray that is. For 10 or 15 minutes run time, that oil should still look brand new. I thought it was kind of weird looking when I dropped that pan. It's like, man, that don't look like fresh oil to me. This is metal. That gray, yep, that's metal from somewhere. I mean, I know it's going to have a little bit of wear, you know, because it's a new motor, but I think that's a little excessive. Only thing I know to do is just send it, fellers. If it locks up, it locks up. We'll pull it out and rebuild it, bore it out, whatever. But for now, yeah. Let me clean the bottom of this out. We'll put her back together. Well, I looked on top of the windage tray with a flashlight, and it's nowhere near as metally grayish looking. I got to thinking maybe he just didn't clean this pan real good, but that doesn't sound like him. You know, he's pretty thorough on doing stuff, so I don't know what to think right now about that. I'm hoping maybe he just didn't clean the oil pan good enough, and everything's gonna be all right. Yeah. Anyway, let's get this little feller up in here and get her bolted down after I get these wires out of the way. Oh yeah, where's a bolt, man? Got a bolt in it. Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is difficult to do right here. Yep. Goodness gracious. Let me try a different bolt. Oh yeah. Try this fella in the middle. Oh yeah, look at there. All right, let me get one on the other side. All right, I got to get one long bolt back here. And I told you I was missing a bolt on either side. I was wrong. I thought one went right here, but it don't. And I got all the others on there. So awesome, oil pan's on. Let me get the front cover on. I like to dab just a wee bit of RT&V in these corners where these gaskets meet. Hopefully they won't leak. I'll put it on both sides of it. Get that little feller back up there where she goes. Now the crank and hub are not keyed. There's no need for it to be. But I did pay attention when I took it off. These 4 balancing holes were approximately there. So that's going to put our tape, you know, fairly close. Eventually, what I'll have to do is put a piston stop in #1 cylinder, find true top dead center, make us a good top dead center pointer. But for now, this, you know, just hear it run and all, that's all we need right here. It's going to be a little harder to do with this stuff in the way, but maybe I can go like this right here. Hi-ya! 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 That ain't really working all that good. Let me get up here. Maybe I can do it like this. Oh, yeah. I think that's it. Let me get my bolt and get it tightened up. It's going to get torqued to whatever this feller torques it to. Yep. I don't see the torque alert specs on it. But anyway, there it is. Now we can tighten these little fellers up. I got the gasket area clean on the water pump. Let's just put this feller up there with no gaskets right now and tighten it up and make sure I ground enough off that bolt so we can get our belt on. What do we have? That's still really close. Let me get a belt, see if it'll go on. This is going to be a pain, but maybe I can get my hand around here. Interesting. I'll tell you what, let's go around the front because I won't be able to do that over there with it in the vehicle, but I can do it from here. So let's see if we can get to it or not, get it in there. Oh yeah, look at there, fellers. The belt is on. Awesome. Let me pull this back off, get some gaskets, and finish putting this thing together. Water pump is on. I just put a new gasket on the thermostat housing. That was the only water leak we had, so hopefully that'll take care of that. I'm putting our bracket back on now. After that, we'll get the distributor back in place. Then, what else? Got to put the radiator back on, hook the hoses up, put Earl in it, and maybe we'll fire it up. Let's get our distributory device up in here. But I ain't gonna tighten it up because we gotta get our belt on. Come on up here, little buddy. Well, I should have put that belt on before I put these bolts in. Might go right there. Oh yeah, we're on. Well, I'm taking a little break, having to rest my knees because they're killing me. Once I get done with that, if I recall correctly, I made a homemade piston stop out of an old spark plug. I just welded a piece of round stock on it or something. If it will screw into that spark plug hole, then we will use our timing tape. It'll be pretty simple to find top dead center. Oh yeah, so give me a few minutes. We'll get over and do that. Well, here's my homemade piston stop. It's just a spark plug with probably a bolt with head cut off welded to it. If it will screw in to the hole, which it looks like it's the same threads as the spark plug, then it'll work. Let me see if I can get her to go in there. I think it'll go. Let me put the camera down. Well, it ain't gonna go. This part here is bigger. Well, let me just put them next to each other. Oh yeah, it's ginormous compared to what goes in there. Let me see, because it don't have to be tightened up. If you just get it screwed down in there, 3/4 threads is all that matters. Let me see if I can grind this down small enough where it'll fit in the hole. Will it or won't it? Well, not really. I think I hit the threads with the grinder and messed them up. Let me get some chanty lock, see if it'll run in there a little bit. Come on, man. Well, it's in there, but not real good. Let me work on it a little bit, see if I can get a little better. And then if this will act right, then we'll find top dead center. Well, it feels like it's in there secure enough. I didn't get maybe 2 threads, if that much. Very slowly roll this fella around until we hit the stop. All right, that's it right there. I completely forgot about putting my pointer back on, so let me do that real quick. We'll bend that however we need to here in a minute. Let's just get her tightened up. Oh, wrong way. All right, now let's bend this down here where we can see it. Let me get up here where I can see. Bend that little feller. We're on about 20. So what I got to do is roll it back the other way. Say it hits 50. Well, what's halfway between 20 and 50? That's 34. 30, so it'll be 15, 35. Yeah. Anyway, let me roll it the other way and see what we get. Rolly roll the other way, sir. Should be coming up on it pretty soon. I believe that's it right there. What are we on? Well, we're off our tape, so I got to move the tape and do it over. Yes, sir. Let me pull this tape off and we'll start over. per usual here at This and That Garage, Backyard Butchery, Capital of the World, MLS Central, whatever it is. All right, let's move this feller here. We'll put her about right there. That should be good enough. This is just to find top dead center, and we'll put a new piece on it. This end don't want to stick, so I gotta use some tape on it. I'm gonna put this pointer down here somewhere. We may have to move it again, I don't know. That's 25 right there. Let me go back the other way again. Should be coming up on it, so I'm gonna slow down. I think that's it right there, actually. Yep. We're on the tape this time? No. What in the world, man? Well, let me move this tape one more time. I'll get it eventually, I promise. That pointer's on about 55. One more time. What in the world? Should be coming up on it. I believe that's it right there. Where are we at? 55 and 10. Is that 10? Let me see. Yes, they're dead on 10. So we were 55 up here, right? So that's 45. You got to half that. So that'll be 22 and a half. Add 10 to that, 32 and a half. That's where our top dead center is. Let me make a mark on this dampener at 32 and a half. And then I will move my 0. I'll get new tape, move a 0 to that mark. There you go. I'm going to mark it with a file right there. Make that a little deeper. That right there is top dead center. So let me get a new piece of tape. We'll line that up real quick. This dampener measures 7 5/8 diameter. Well, I don't have 7 5/8 tape. This is for 7 1/2. It'd be close enough. Fellas, we ain't no race team that has to be making max horsepower. No, sir. We can get her within 2 or 3 degrees. We're doing pretty doggone good. Right about there. Well, maybe move it down a little bit. About right there. Yep. That'll work good enough for now. Yep. But we got to make us a little better pointer. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the camera off and get the rest of this done. It's actually late, but I still want to fire the thing up because we're so close. When I get the radiator and everything else done, I'll be back. We'll fire a little feller up. Fingers crossed that our noisy stuff and our oil pressure is better. Well, I think everything is ready except for radiator fluids. Hi-ya! And 2 more quarts of the Earls. We're going to roll it over to the door and fire it up. Hopefully we don't, wake the neighborhood up. Them mufflers from Evil Energy, they quieten it down some. About another half quartage. All right, fellas, it is time. Let's go. Well, it's approximately exactly 12:31 in the a.m., so probably going to make the neighbors mad. I'm going to try not to, rev it up too much, but we will rev it up a little bit to see what our oil pressure is. If I recall correctly, cold oil pressure, idle was about 48-ish. Hot idle was around 25 or 28, somewhere in there. Hopefully we got a little bit better oil pressure and our ticky-tacking is gone. Let me put y'all on the camera stand, fire the old girl up. Let me hit the throttle. Are we pumping anything? Oh yeah. Ignition on, fire and hold. like that. Almost 65 cold. So we're doing better already. Still got ticking on this side. We'll let it warm up, see what it does. Well, I still got my clip-on hat mic going right now so y'all can hear me talk. We'll take it off here in a little bit because the microphone on this cell phone the other day when I revved it up for just a few seconds, oh buddy, it sounded good, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to come over here and show you all the cold oil pressure. It's right at 65, so that's at least 15 better than we were, so that's awesome. So hopefully hot idle will be 15 better. The ticking, it went away. That's awesome. Yep, I don't hear nothing. Well, just a little bit over here, but I can live with that. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me get down here where y'all can hear it. Yeah, that don't bother me too bad. Get a shot of that rocker arm in there. Here's the cell phone mic. Let's walk out here behind it. Whole thing don't sound too bad with just the mufflers. No, sir. We'll let it run and warm up, and I'll be back in a little bit and we'll see what we got on our hot idle. The timing said it's on about 15 degrees right now. Idled are down to about 900. It ain't doing that lope and surging anymore. I kind of thought it might have been that belt. Well, let me just show you that belt real quick. She was just about to come apart on both ends. The inside just as bad right there. And I think every time it would come out of that distributor, it may have been jerking it and causing that loping, because the timing, you can see the timing, it would go back and forth 5 or 6 degrees. So I'm glad we got that took care of. It's warming up. Where'd my Temperature gun go? Here it is. Let's see. Well, let's just see if it's thermostat hadn't opened. I don't know what's going on. That's very odd. We're at about 165. I don't know, but that's just cold as a cucumber. Let's check our oil pressure. Where are we at now? Still on 55. Not bad. I think we have solved the ticking and oil pressure. And yep, that is awesome. I'm gonna hit the throttle one time, and then we gotta shut her off because it's late and this thing is loud. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say we got the little feller fixed. I believe. We didn't run it, but maybe 10 minutes. But it is hot. That thermostat ain't opening for some reason. That was in the 6.0, by the way. It may be bad. We might get another one, but anyway, I do believe it's warmed up enough that, you know, if we were going to have a terrible drop in oil pressure, we would have already. 55 psi at a hot idle. Oh yeah, I'll take that all day long. Today is Sunday. It's early Sunday morning, about 1 o'clock. Y'all know what it is. This is the day of rest. That's what I do. I hope y'all do the same. Monday, we'll fire a little feller up again, run him, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, make dang sure we got it fixed. See y'all Monday. Tis the next day and Monday. Y'all look here what I got in the mail yesterday. 27-inch belt or 690 mamas. Yep, that's how they measure these. Let's get it put on this motor, see if it gives us any more room. And by room, I'm talking about in between the idler pulley and the distributor. Y'all see, very tiny amount of room. First thing I got to do, pull this cap off, and let's see where our rotor's pointing so we can put it right back like it was. I think I need a shorter screwdriver right here. Yep, let me go find one. All right, which way are you pointing, little buddy? That hose is right in the way. Well, I don't know. I can't see it. Well, that darn hose, that wasn't in the way before. I don't remember that being an issue. Huh. We're over here at exactly 9 o'clock. All right. That's how we need to put the little feller back. Now, will that let me get this here beltage off? This is not a very user-friendly setup. We may have to do little modifications on that. If I get that belt turned sideways, get it. Come on, man. All right, there we go. Got air out. Let's see if we can come from the bottom. This is going to be a lot more aggravating with it in the truck because I won't be able to stand this close to it, but I did just get it in there. Now if I can get it up here. Ta-da! There we go. Now, is this turned on me? I really don't remember that hose being in the way like that. It needs to be turned like that right there. Let's see. Let me put this bolt back in. Yeah, it's within range that I can adjust the timing if need be. All right, let me get my wrench and tighten this here bolt up. Now, some of y'all asked in the last video what is I going to do about oiling this bushing. That bushing should be oilite. Oilite means it is, well, it's centered bronze. Oilite is a brand name for centered bronze. What that means is it's little, basically, bronze that they chopped up and then pressed back together. That leaves it porous. Therefore, it's oil impregnated. As the shaft is spinning in there, that bearing heats up and the oil seeps out. That's what oils the shaft. Now, that oil will go away eventually, and I might like drill a hole here where you can drip some oil down in there, but I ain't too worried about that. The main thing I'm worried about is it's got a side load on it now because it's only got one bushing, but that bushing is about that long. I think it'll be okay. If it wears out, you know what we'll do? Well, firstly, we're going to get this belt right because it's half off the pulley. Anyway, you know what we'll do when it wears that bushing out? We'll put a new one in it. Anyway, let me get this belt all the way on that pulley, just like that right there. That means that's going to raise up even more, give us more room. We still got 3/4 of an inch of adjustment, so I think we're good there. But anyway, let me get this tightened up. We'll roll a little feller to the door and fire him up. Got everything buttoned up. How much room we got now? Oh, we got a bunch. I can stick my finger through there almost. All right, let's roll the feller to the door and fire it up. It's 40 degrees according to my thermometer over there. So this will be a true cold start. Give her a couple of pumps of gas. We are, oh yeah, we're squirting. Ignition on, fire and hold. I bet I've messed the timing up a little bit, probably. Acts like it's only hitting on about 3 cylinders. What's going on here? Let me fool with this timing. I need to loosen that bolt up first. At least it did try, you know, pretty quickly to start. Let's give her a little bit, see what it does. Yeah, our timing is off. Huh, that's weird. So I put the little feller right back where it was. Sure did. Definitely off that away. I need to move that belt 1 tooth. We'll do it sometime, not right now. I'm gonna let it warm up. I'll set the timing again, and hopefully the oil pressure's gonna do like it should. I'll be back in a little bit. I just wanted to show y'all how slow that belt is turning. Pretty slow compared to this one here. 2-to-1 ratio crank to cam. Turns pretty slow. Yep. Wait a minute. I forgot I got this fitting a couple days ago. This will screw into where the water, the temperature sender goes. Then you use this feller here. And then we can use a regular mechanical gauge like I got on a run stand. Let me get some tape on that, put it in there, put it on the motor, fire back up. All it gets for a seal, because these are straight thread, is that aluminum whoosher. So we can get this swapped out without making a huge mess, which, it's only water in it, but still. I don't want wooders all over my shop floor. I may have to go get a socket. No, there we go. There we go. All right, can we make the switch without making a huge mess? I'm gonna get out of the way so I don't get wet. Oh, look at there, fellas. We lost. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot this goes all the way through. You big dummy. I gotta get this in here next. Oh yeah, we didn't lose a quart of water. Awesome. Yeah, I sure did forget that fitting was open on the other end. As my brain fellers will tell you, it don't work half the time. All right, fire it up. Fire and hold once again. I'll be back in a few minutes when it starts warming up. She's fully warmed up, been running 15 minutes or so. You can see we're on about 190. I'm assuming that's about a 190 thermostat. It's the stock thermostat, I guess, come out of the 6.0. We might put a little cooler one in it, but for now it's doing wonderfully. We're idling around 900 to 1,000. What is our oil pressures? Fully warmed up. Look at there, fellas. We're a little over 50 psi on oil pressure. There's some faint ticking, but if that's all it does, fellas, I ain't gonna worry about it. No, sir. She sure sounds mean, that's all I can tell you. I'm gonna let it run another 20 minutes or so. I'll come back and let you know how everything's working. Hopefully the ticking ain't gonna get no worse, and we'll be good to go. Let me show y'all how inaccurate these little fellers are. You shoot it from the top, see what we got? Come over here to the side, it goes up 100 plus degrees. These little fellers ain't all that accurate, but it will tell you if you got a dead cylinder or not. I decided to go ahead and hook up a hose on the PCV valve. Let me do you before. See all that smoke coming out of the fill hole, fill neck? Now look at it. It's all being sucked into the motor right here, so we ain't got all that nastiness coming out and getting all over the motor. I got a cap coming. It's got a filter on top of it. We'll put that on there when we get it. She's been running about 30 minutes now. there's some ticking that has gotten a little louder, but it ain't bad. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Back in the 80s and 90s, the old Japanese 4-cylinders, they had a lot of valve train noise. That's what it reminds me of. Sure does. But if it don't get no worse than this, I'm good. There's probably more over here than there is over here. It ain't bad. I ain't worried about it. Our hot idle oil pressure is now at 45. Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? We're at 48 cold idle before, 28 hot idle. We brought it up almost 20 psi, and we quietened it down a lot. So, yep, I'm okay with it. Let's do a little warm powering. See how high she climbs. Not bad at all. Something's happened to my belt. My belt has come off. Don't know why it's doing that. Let me shut her down. I thought I heard a noise. That ain't good. Why did it do that? Let me fix this and then we'll fire it back up. Well, I don't know what caused that. Unless, you know, it could be my idler. I forgot about it. Yeah, it's not in the stock location. So that could be what's throwing it off. So we'll have to really check that. Make sure we're in line real good. Yeah, that could be what it is. Anyways, let's fire it back up. Woman a pow. Woman a pow. Woman pow. Yes, you know, fire the hole. I revved it up quite a bit, as y'all saw, trying to see where it was flopping maybe, and it's getting misaligned right there on the water pump. I'm just wondering though, let me turn this fan off, if the belt needs to be a little tighter, because we still got quite a bit of adjustment on it. That's a, what I say that was, a 95. I had I think a 94, too short. I may try a 94 and a half and see if that don't help us out, because that'll be a problem when we go to warm power it on the road and throw a belt every time. Be like that danged old, what was this in here? Yeah. Well, the Ford did the same thing. What's the deal with me and belts? Pretty pleased with it. It runs pretty good. The distributor setup, it's awesome. Yeah, it's flawless pretty much. But I did shock the crap out of myself a minute ago. I was trying to adjust the timing, and I got a wire that's come loose. Well, let me turn the camera around and show you. This wire, you know, got 3 wires. Well, this one here, evidently I didn't grip it very good. How is it running without that wire? That may be the ground, it's black. Could be. But anyway, I was doing some adjusting and that sucker popped me. I like to went my knees, that hurt. Well, fellas, I think we'll wrap this video up. I know it's a little shorter than what I normally do, but my last 2 videos have come out a day late. I got to try to get caught up. So, yeah, we're going to cut her off right here. I don't think we're going to work on this next week. We'll just have to wait and see. But we will get back on it. We'll get this little fella back on the road pretty soon. Yep. So be looking for that. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe. Share with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.